A member of an offensive backfield in gridiron football. The primary role of a running back are to receive handoffs from the quarterback, to rush the ball, to line up as a receiver, to catch the ball, and block. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 running backs for the 2021 NFL Draft 1.0 version. So let's get it started.
I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, guys don't know, DoseOfDion, he put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
So welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here. And today we're going through the top 10 running backs for the 2021 NFL Draft. We did a video on this for linebackers as well, but today it's all about the running back position. This class may not feature a top 10 running back. Okay, there is no Saquon Barkley in this draft class. It does run pretty darn deep. This is a very difficult list to make. I really struggled after about 4 players. I mean, honestly, and I interchange players in and out over and over and over, and I have a top 10. This is a 1.0 version, so it is subject to change, and it probably will change because it was so tough to make. But I feel like all the positions are going to be like this. So let's just take a look. Let's dive right into this. So starting off our list, coming in number 10 spot, is a guy that hasn't had that many carries, so it may concern you. But if you watch the carries that he has had, you won't be too concerned. At 6 foot, 246 pounds, he is the biggest, meaning the heaviest running back on this list. And he uses that to his advantage. One of the strongest running backs you will find in college football, and he can absolutely hold up in pass protection. But don't let that fool you, because he does have the burst and the cuts for his size that may surprise you. Short yardage runner, he is one of the best you'll find out of this draft. If you want a great complement to go to a quicker, twitchier back who's super elusive, who's kind of on the smaller side, and then you want to put in that absolute bowling ball that just says, get out of my way, Rhamondre Stevenson may be the guy for you. And the fact that he could fall to day 3 is just downright insane. Rhamondre Stevenson is a problem for defenders. Arm tackles won't bring him down when he is running like he can run. Now, there are some times where he runs and tries to be a little bit smaller than what he is, a bit more elusive, tries to get to the outside. But you just want to say, hey, man, just put your head down and run somebody over, because he can when he wants to. Now, I know the carries may scare you, but I guess he doesn't have a lot of tread on those tires. Now, he does have 3 fumbles on the 165 carries. I know it's not a big sample size, but it is somewhat concerning. And he hasn't been much of a threat in the pass-catching game for Oklahoma. You need a short yardage running back. Do not be afraid to jump on what Rhamondre Stevenson can bring, because when he's going, oh, he is going. I mean, the power this guy possesses at his size, but with a little bit of elusiveness, a little scoot for his size, Rhamondre Stevenson has to be in the top 10. And that moves us to number 9. Running back out of Virginia Tech. Now, this running back played incredible this season. At 5'10", 200 pounds, it is Khalid Herbert. One of the best all-around runners in this class, in my opinion. The biggest thing that pops out to me is his contact balance. The way this guy just finds a way to stay on his feet. Also, he can split back as a kick returner. The numbers really, truly do speak for themselves. He's 8th in the FBS in yards after contact, averaging over 4.7 yards after contact. He's 6th in the FBS in 15+ yard carries. I mean, this guy was awesome, but it's the blend between some strength, some speed, some agility, but also that low center of gravity, all right? I mean, that's what you love to have in your running backs, and that's what Khalid Herbert brings to the table. He's not going to get chopped down very easy at his size. Now, once again, like Rhamondre, not super involved in the passing game. He also is a 5th-year senior, if that concerns you, coming out of Kansas and joining Virginia Tech. I don't think he's a top in between the tackles rusher, but he does bring a lot to the table. He will be one of the best all-around runners that you will find in this class, and Khalid Herbert had to crack the top 10. I had to find a spot for him. Somewhere, somehow, some way, I had to find a way to get Khalid Herbert on here. I just think there's just too much to his game, and he had too good of a season for me to not put him on this list, and that moves us to number 8. And coming in at the number 8 position, we have a running back that unfortunately didn't have the season that he would have hoped, and that is Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard in 2019 was absolutely ridiculous, and that's probably how you know the name. Over 2,000 yards, over 300 carries. Oh my gosh, 2,000 yards? Get out of here. However, 2020 hasn't been the same. With some hamstring injuries, he's been a little bit, just hasn't seemed like himself. His production has dropped a little bit, hasn't made as many guys maybe miss, and the numbers just don't look the same, and the injuries are concerning. But, there are a few things about his game that you can't take away. The first thing would be that 0 to 60 40 speed. Absolute burner. When he wants to take off, when he seems the seam, when he sees the cut and he makes that cut, he can fly. 4.340 is what this guy can run. He's a patient runner, okay? He waits for the hole, and he can make some really quick cuts. He can absolutely stop on the dime, and it's that high upside that you saw in 2019. Now, there are some major concerns coming with him. The injuries, for sure. He definitely could add some weight at the next level. He's had 7 fumbles over the last 2 years, but he has had tons of carries, to be fair to him. One thing that I've noticed about his play, though, this season is just the lack of ability to make the first guy miss consistently. I mean, it was not that often he would make the first guy miss. 2020 was a rough season, but hopefully coming back in 2021 in the NFL, if he falls to day 3, which a lot of people are thinking that he will, hopefully you can start to see him get it back to that 2019 form. I just think I had to find a place to put him on this list because there's just too high of a ceiling for what Chuba Hubbard has shown us and what he's been able to accomplish and just how fast this guy is. The absolute home run threat that he is puts him at number 8. And that moves us to number 7. That is Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon at 6'2", oh my goodness. Talk about taking advantage of the opportunity. This guy exploded like I haven't seen a college player explode before. In his last couple of games, Trey Sermon just went ballistic. I mean, he went absolutely nuts, and he didn't look back. They said, hey, take the keys to the car, take it to the gas station. But he said, I'm going all the way to California.
What?
He played without thought. He just said, give me the ball and get the heck out of the way. I mean, this guy was like ripping the ball out of Justin Fields' hands. I mean, he just wanted to get the ball, and he wanted to go. And you saw that by the numbers. He was running downhill. He was tough to bring down. Defenses were having problems with him. He was just on fire. I mean, he was absolutely on fire. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see him against Bama. But his mom said that he was okay. So that is a good thing. Man, just think about that. I mean, just think about that, right? If he didn't get the opportunity because Master Teague went down, in the season, he had 24 broken tackles. I mean, he was just an absolute problem late in the season. Always falling forward, running through the easy tackles. Defenses were having issues with him. There are some things to his game that are going to concern you. He does run kind of tall because he's kind of a tall player. He doesn't run that low to the ground. Also, early in his tracks, you can stop him. I don't see him make tons of guys miss in the backfield. And yes, before, his breakout, he was a little quiet at Oklahoma, then Ohio State. He was kind of hesitant. I didn't see the same fire out of Trey Sermon. But, man, when he got that opportunity to be the bell cow, there was no thought. He was just, give me the ball, get the heck out of the way, and let me play. And he absolutely went insane. And his speed, I feel like it can be overlooked just because of his effort is so tremendous. His speed, he's not the fastest guy. He can get ran down. But Trey Sermon, the way that he finished the season, I mean, he's just shot himself up. He may be the biggest riser. It's hard not to put this guy in your top 10. I mean, you're going to struggle not putting this guy in your top 10 after what he did, and that's why he comes in at number 7. And coming in at number 6, we have a running back out of Mississippi State, and this is Colin Hill at 5'11", 215 pounds. Colin Hill sometimes fakes me out for a receiver because he just looks that smooth with the ball in his hand in open space. His hesitation move is a thing of beauty. I mean, just to set it up and then go, he can absolutely fool the heck out of defenders. He does look like a receiver because of those soft hands. He does have some easy drops I've seen, but he has really soft hands to be a nice little route runner out of the backfield. He also went against the best competition you can in the SEC. But man, that lower body strength is something to watch out for. I mean, you got defenders falling off him left and right, spinning through inside. If you get this guy low, usually you're supposed to get guys low, right? Colin Hill, maybe not. Now, there are some issues. He does run way too high. I mean, it doesn't look like he's getting down at all. He kind of looks like he's running straight up. Also, he doesn't seem to shift gears. I mean, it's just one gear. Take off fast, but that's about it. There isn't that second level to his game, it doesn't seem like. The question will be, how well does he translate to the NFL level? I can just see the determination, the motivation that he runs with. Not only was he going against the best competition, he also didn't have the best supporting cast. It wasn't that great. Okay, run blocking. I mean, so he had to do a lot. There was a lot of times, man, where things were just getting completely blown up, and he had to make something happen. At number 5, we have a running back at Kenneth Gainwell, standing at 5'11", 191 pounds out of Memphis. Kenneth Gainwell, you know what? He can line up a receiver, and he wouldn't look out of place whatsoever because he basically does. He lines up at a receiver all the time. He's a receiver / running back that could be a receiver at the next level, and it wouldn't surprise me because of his size. You'll also see him take some direct snaps, but literally, man, he is one of the most agile running backs in this class. In open space, he's a problem. He's an absolute nightmare for defenders. They don't want to get on this guy one-on-one because he is a problem in space. He'll set you up with a move. He'll juke you out of your shoes. He'll break your ankles, and he's taking off right behind you. He has 3-down potential because they've used him in every situation imaginable. Plus, the fact that he can line up a receiver, that means even on 3rd down, say you don't want to line up as a runner, put him at receiver. He might have to get a little bit bigger at the NFL level. I also think he's got good speed, not great speed. Maybe he doesn't always get the edge, and I haven't seen him have a huge route tree. Plus, he opted out of last season, which stinks. But I think Kenneth Gainwell has just so much talent to his game, it's tough not to put him this high, and that's why Gainwell is here for me. And that moves us into the top 4. And coming in at number 4, we have a running back out of North Carolina. It's one running back. Which one do you think it is? It's Michael Carter. At 5'9", 199 pounds, Michael Carter is one of the most electric players in the open field. He's elusive. His stop start's incredible. He is just a big play waiting to happen. I mean, he's a broken play waiting to happen. He's first in FBS in 15-plus yard carries. Makes guy miss like nobody's business. There are some issues. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the most effective in short area situations. But get him the ball, get him in space, and NFL teams are going to love him. In the open field, he's a nightmare matchup, and that is Michael Carter. I want to put him at number 2.
So freaking bad.
So want to put this guy at number 2. Devonta Williams is so good. But you know what? I hope everybody looks at him as like the 50th best running back. As just, hey, he should go undrafted. That way my Lions can get him. With 75 broken tackles. With the fact that he can be a goal line threat. He's got the strength for a short yardage back. With incredible contact balance. One of the highest yards after contact in the nation. He runs angry. He runs like he is mad at somebody. He's a physical player. He's a physical blocker. And he's got that vision. He'll take it between the tackles and run you over, but also be a playmaker in space. The one big run that he had, he literally turned into Marshawn Lynch himself, running over guys, staying on his feet, bouncing around. The broken tackles will absolutely translate to the next level, and that is why I love me some Devonta. There are some things that he doesn't have, like he's not a burner, okay? He's not a top-end deep threat as a rusher. He doesn't always latch on in blocking, which is something that I think he could work on for sure because he has the size to do it. He was never a bell cow, which to me could actually be a good thing because he doesn't have all the tread. I know he has 3 drops, but man, you'll see this guy snag one-handed grabs. They're easy drops that he has. It's concentration. I've seen that from a lot of running backs that we've already talked about, including guys like Colin Hill. But he's a solid route runner. I didn't whop Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in the open field. He can be a little too flashy. He can get a little bit out of himself. But no, Michael Carter, Devonta Williams will translate to the next level. He's going to be a problem. You could say, oh, he's, maybe a little bit of a one-year wonder, but no. Hey, come on. He took the nation by storm. Devonta was great. And I want to put him at number 2 so bad, but I had to go with Travis Etienne. I don't know, These are so interchangeable. Put him at 2, put him at 3. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to put Etienne. You know what? Let's tie it. Travis Etienne, 5'10", 205 out of Clemson. One of the most smooth players. He's a home run threat every single time he touches the football. He's a backfield catching the threat like no tomorrow. I mean, this guy catches so many passes. He is so productive. They give him the ball all the time. His acceleration, his burst is nice. He has great contact balance. I could see him get a little bit stronger, though, in the lower body. He also doesn't block that well, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just my opinion of it. His production did dip with a worse offensive line, but, that's the case with a lot of running backs. But at the end of the day, man, he's just such a threat. It's tough not to put him here. He's such a complete running back that's going to be he could be a beast. At number 1, I have a running back that I feel I just cannot not put in number 1. I mean, I don't know how. I'm not going to do it. I had to put him in number 1. There's nothing I can do but put this guy in number 1. That's Najee Harris. 6'2", 230 out of Bama. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. Dude, he's an absolute bully. I mean, he's just a walking bully, man. He is a tank in the open field and between the tackles. I mean, you have to hate this as a defense. He will wear you down consistently. He's not going to pop off, be a home run threat every time he touches the ball like some of the other guys like an Etienne. But he's going to wear you down. You get it between the tackles, oh my gosh, you're going to hate having to tackle this guy consistently. Open space 101, you just better just fall down. I mean, just like Curry did when Giannis went to dunk it, just put your hands over the head and lay down because he's going to run you over the other way. He's pretty underrated with his quick cuts. I've seen some underratedness there. And no, he doesn't have all these big monster plays all the time. We've seen him jump over guys time and time again. I mean, you don't need to be the fastest guy on the field, but if you can consistently give me 5 yards a pop, I feel like Najee can do that. He's got a nice little quick cut right off the handoff. I do see him a little hesitant at times. I see him a little hesitant to make a hole sometimes. That can't be a thing. That can't be a thing, Najee. But man, I feel like, he can make the first guy miss a lot. A lot of times he's making the first guy miss, and then he's just so difficult to bring down. You want to see him just put his head down and go more often, but I know he doesn't have the top end speed. I know he doesn't have necessarily the burst, but he definitely is a little underrated athletically, maybe depending on who you're talking to. But guys, he is just an absolute bully, and I had to put him at number 1. So for now, those are my top 10 running backs for the 2021 NFL draft class, including some honorable mentions. Jarrett Patterson out of Buffalo. I definitely have to mention him. I also have to mention Demetric Felton out of UCLA. 2 running backs I definitely had on here at one point. Took them off. They may be on here on future versions. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.